Hey there, senior leader, and welcome to the Talent Sherpa podcast. This is where senior leaders come to rethink how human capital really works. I'm your host, Jackson Lynch, and today we're going to look down the road a little bit. Not just next quarter, not even next year, but all the way out to 2030. Because here's the truth. Good enough by 2030 will be obsolete. Even great's not going to cut it. The CHRO of 2030 has got to be world-class in ways that the role has never demanded before. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. 2030, that seems like forever, but it's not. We are closer to 2030 than we are to 2020. And if that doesn't make you feel old, let me give you this one. When Raiders of the Lost Ark hit theaters in 1981, the story was set in 1936. At that time, 1936 felt like another era entirely. Single-engine planes hopping across deserts, maps with dotted red lines tracking journeys around the world. And here's the bad news. Today, we are farther away from the release of Raiders than Raiders was from the year it was depicting, which means the ancient times that Indy was adventuring through are actually closer to him than he was and is to us. Time moves fast, everybody, and it's moving faster than most HR playbooks can keep up with. So let's get into it. What will the world-class CHRO need to master by 2030? I'm going to walk through 5 capabilities I think that will separate true leaders from the ones who quietly fade into irrelevance. And in the spirit of Indiana Jones, choose wisely. First up, technology mastery. And I don't mean I can log into Workday without calling someone from HRIS. That's the bare minimum. For me, that's a stretch goal, but still. I mean being able to set the AI and automation agenda all by yourself. Here's what I see today. Too many HR leaders are still waiting for IT to explain what's possible. They're waiting, and that's like waiting for your teenager to explain TikTok. You're always going to be a step behind and candidly look a little awkward while doing it. By 2030, the CHRO who thrives will not be the passenger on the AI journey. They will be the driver, and they probably will have designed the car. Imagine the scenario. The CEO asks how AI will change productivity per employee, or whether automation can close a margin gap in customer service. The CHRO of 2030 will not be deferring to the CIO or the finance guy. They will be the ones with the answers. They'll be fluent in what tools can do, what outcomes they can enable, and how to deploy them without wasting millions on technology that looks impressive but never delivers. And let's be honest, we've already lived through the era where we've seen all those expensive toys in HR. And if you don't remember what that was like, go back to the last time you put in a sales compensation module. The systems that promise transformation but end up as glorified spreadsheets will not cut it anymore. Future CHROs will separate what creates business leverage from what just eats up budget. Now, the second competency will be business fluency. We talk about this a lot. By 2030, CEOs will not want an HR partner who talks about programs and policies. They will want an operator who shapes outcomes, someone who moves the revenue needle and protects margin while building the workforce. And if you're still presenting to the board with engagement scores and training hours as your headline metrics, let me tell you, you're going to get politely ignored right up until the CFO stands up and talks about cost of capital and operating leverage. In order to be credible, the CHRO has got to speak the exact same language: growth, return on investment, margin expansion. But as we look forward, the CHRO of 2030 won't just align HR strategy with the business. They will actually be running part of the business. They will sit at the table with a voice in the debate as someone who knows how to expand revenue per employee, someone who knows how to reduce turnover costs, someone who can design an organization that scales faster than the competition. They'll have the numbers to prove it. This is a shift from soft influence to hard accountability. And if that makes some HR leaders uncomfortable, that's the point. Comfort zones don't survive in the next decade. The third capability is going to be talent treated like a capital allocation model. Every decision, whether to hire or promote or exit someone, is going to be measured against the long-term value creation. Gut feel will finally take a backseat to hard data. And it'll be important because you will have an agentic cost that you'll be balancing that up against. Think about it this way. No CFO would ever walk into a board meeting and say, we're going to build this new plant because I have a really good feeling about it. And yet that's exactly how too many promotions happen. A senior leader says, I trust this person. They've been loyal. And suddenly they're in a role that shapes millions in P&L. By 2030, the CHRO will not let that fly. They will demand the same rigor that a CFO brings to investments, better dashboards, predictive analytics that actually work, and ruthless trade-offs, because not every role deserves equal investment, and not every employee is an A player. Act accordingly. Here's the math. If you put your scarce capital, human or financial, into underperforming bets, you will get underwhelming results. The CHRO of 2030 will make sure that the capital deployed by the company into talent is deployed where it creates competitive advantage, not just where it feels comfortable. Now, fourth, we're going to talk about adaptability. By 2030, this will not be a nice to have. It will be flat out survival. Economic cycles, workforce expectations, competitive landscapes, the balance between human and agentic workforces, all shifting faster than today's models can handle. And candidly, we haven't done that well with less complexity. The CHRO who wins, though, as we move forward, will be constantly rewriting their own operating model, not once a year, not every 3 years, constantly. Look around today. Too many HR leaders have built their identities on a single thing. The policy expert, the engagement whisperer, the comp and benefits guru. But tomorrow, these narrow lanes will not be enough. The CHRO of 2030 will need to move like a portfolio manager, rebalancing priorities, reallocating talent, designing and redesigning orgs in real time, and cutting the stuff that's not working. Agility will not be a buzzword on the slide deck or the podcast. It will be how you operate every day. Think about Indiana Jones again in Raiders. He didn't survive because he memorized a manual. He survived because he adapted on the fly, changing tactics, making calls, pivoting where the environment shifted. And that's the playbook for the CHRO of the future. And finally, the fifth capability will be leadership courage. And this is one that separates the crowd. The CHRO of 2030 will need to call out drift, mediocrity, and bias at the top table, even when it risks their standing. They will need to make the hard calls between what is done by an agentic agent or a human agent. Too many HR leaders today whisper their concerns in the hallway, but they can be a little silent in the boardroom. It's hard. I get it. But that won't fly in the next decade. The stakes are way too high. The cycles are too fast. The cost of silence is too great. If a leader is not scaling, you'll have to say it. If a reorg is killing accountability, you'll have to say it. If the strategy is missing the people side of execution, you'll have to say it. And yes, it may cost some of you political capital, probably all of you. But by 2030, not saying it is probably going to cost you the role itself. So let's pull all this together. The CHRO of 2030 is not the policy administrator of the past. They're not even the strategic HR partner of the present. They're going to be the architect of human potential, blending strategic foresight, operational command, and people innovation into one seamless capability. Anything less, and the organization is underpowered and outpaced. Hey guys, here's the summary. It's time to pay attention again. If you want to be in the chair in 2030, you got to start now. Learn the tech, speak the business, treat talent like capital, stay adaptable, and maybe most important, show courage in the room. Because the CHRO who can't do all five won't be a CHRO for very long. That's it for now. Thank you so much for tuning into the Talent Sherpa podcast. This is where senior leaders come to rethink how human capital really works. I want to give a quick shout out to one of our favorite listeners. Hey, Carlos, thank you for being a part of the Talent Sherpa community. Now, if you enjoyed today's episode, please hit that like button. If you're on YouTube, subscribe on any of the platforms, leave us a review, whether it's Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, we are ubiquitous. And when you do that, what happens is the algorithm says we will share this podcast with other people of similar interest levels. And that's how we grow, and we can influence more in the function and in our broader community. Now, if you're a CHRO wondering, where the heck do I start my AI journey? Please don't forget to check out Propulsion AI at www.getpropulsion.ai. That is a company founded by my friend Scott Morris He is transforming how smart companies turn HR insights into powerful outcomes. And if you're an emerging or brand new CHRO ready to accelerate your impact, please head on over to talentsherpa.substack.com, a best-selling Substack. And earlier this year, we were the 6th fastest growing on Substack, the entire platform. You can also check out mytalentsherpa.com. In both places, we have designed resources specifically to help you navigate, elevate, and deliver results from day one. So until next time, keep leading the business, keep focusing on outcomes, and keep on climbing.